Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. How is everybody today? What a fine day for Chille, huh? God bless you, Chille. Glad you're out. There's no way you deserve 6 months for what you did. I mean, it was stupid what you did, and I think the district court made a mistake. But God bless you, my friend. Anyway, apparently people like to misconstrue what I've said about Chille's chances for success. This particular video that I have up, Chille's odds of prevailing on appeal. This was, I don't know if you all can see that, June 14th, 2024. I mean, I might have said something. I might have said something about Chille's odds of success, and it probably wasn't zero. I'm just gonna guess. Let's take a listen. Let's take a listen to what John of 3 weeks ago said. I'm locked in. But again, if that 10% hits, I won't be surprised. Maybe it's a little higher, actually. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't be surprised if it was up around a 1 in 3 shot of Chille prevailing on that issue. What? A 1 in 3 shot? That's a 33 and a third % chance of him prevailing. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. Let's look at my volume is really low. It's my volume is automatically adjusted. So I don't know what to do about that. Apps using your microphone. Microphone access is on. Okay, other people are saying it's good. I don't know. Logan, turn up your hearing aids, buddy. All right, so I have done a lot of analysis on this particular issue or on this particular appeal, and I stand by the analysis. I still think my analysis is excellent and on point. I would love to see someone else have their analysis hold true. It's easy to say someone's going to win, someone's going to lose, right? You got like a 50-50 shot. Either you're right or you're wrong, right? There is probably a reason why most attorneys thought that Chille was going to lose. Probably. There is a reason why I gave him about a 1 in 3 shot of success. So, but I don't. What are the odds of Nevada appealing now? That's a 0% chance. There is no appeal from the district court in this particular matter, and I'm not sure if the state could petition for a writ of certiorari. So, but no, Chille's a free man. It's done. It's done. If you're holding out hope for the state to come back in and try to do something to get this into another court, I wouldn't hold your breath. It's done. So I've watched the oral arguments, and oral arguments are great. I don't really put a whole lot of stock in oral arguments. That's probably a failing on my part. Orem showed his experience. He did an excellent oral argument. I don't think so. Not at this point. Maybe later. So Orem did an excellent job of doing the oral argument. He was engaging. He was prepared. He had a story, and he stuck to it. The other guy, Alexander Chen, I was very unimpressed with him. Now, reading the brief, which I still don't think that Orem wrote. Reading the brief, and even listening to the actual argument that Orem made, his actual argument was pretty terrible from a legal perspective, and his briefs were terrible. Alexander Chen's brief was good. I have my quibbling with it, like he didn't address Wilson in his brief appropriately, I don't think. But as far as the oral argument was prepared, Chen came across as I don't know, like I didn't like him. It's hard for me to put an exact finger on why I didn't like him. He seemed smug. He seemed overconfident. He went after Orem. Orem had made a statement about a woman on the road, and Chen, I think, because he was playing to a female judge, took that to try to make Orem sound sexist, which a judge should not make a decision based on whether or not the person in front of her is or isn't sexist. And it just seemed like it was jarring. It was very jarring. And he did not do a good job. And his last minute effort, I remember when I read his little footnote in his brief on the Chauvin case that Chille was calling the George Floyd case. The footnote in his brief was like, now that I've seen him in person, it's that same kind of thing where he was going after Orem for being sexist. He tried to basically go after Chille for being racist. And it was weird and it was jarring. And I mentioned it at the time, not having seen him do his oral argument, I couldn't put my finger on it. But now that I see him do his oral argument, I'm going to get called a misogynist for this, but it's like arguing with a woman or arguing with Chille. It's not, or listening to Josh argue with generally specific. Neither one of them will address an issue head on, and they'll both snipe and pick and look at the most minutia of minuscule details and try to make a mountain out of a molehill. And I don't think it plays well. I don't think it plays well for most people, unless you really don't like the person it's against. I don't think it plays well. And I don't think this particular judge had any particular emotional investment in Chille. And so for this judge, so for the first judge at the Justice Court, she had to deal with him a couple times, arraignment, and maybe a few preliminary hearings and things like that. So she already had a taste for him. But Chille wasn't making videos about this judge, about the district court judge. So this judge didn't have a taste for him. So it was just a dude who got 6 months for being an asshole to a cop, right? And Orem is just a guy who with a good argument. And this Chen is a guy with a kind of, he had this like, I don't know, like condescending arrogance about him. He's everything that people accuse me of being, essentially. And I didn't much appreciate it. But his last minute attempt to try to distinguish the Derek Chauvin case, when he should have done it in his fucking brief, like that just was like, he realized at the last minute that maybe instead of arguing that Chille was a racist, maybe he should have distinguished the motherfucking case. Now, I don't think that was the death knell for him. I don't know what the death knell was, but I watched this. I listened to it mostly. I did like glance at it occasionally, but I mostly just watched it. But then when it got to the end, I'm baffled. I am absolutely baffled.
Okay, so this time the court's going to grant the appeal and reverse the convictions.
So she granted the appeal and reversed the convictions. So both the resisting arrest, which Orem really didn't even argue, went away. I mean, I didn't really see a good argument from Orem on why the resisting arrest should go away. Now, in Nevada, just so that my audience is aware, in Nevada, you have the right to resist an illegal arrest. So you can't be convicted of resisting arrest on an illegal arrest, right? So so she's reversed the convictions, right? Now we're gonna get the why. This is what's supposed to make it all make sense, right? She's gonna say Chille did back up, or he was complying, or the officer didn't give him enough opportunity to comply, or the 10-foot rule actually exists now in Nevada and you guys just didn't know about it, haha, or the officer didn't do anything until Chille started talking to the driver, and so Wilson kicks in and you can't convict him for it, or this is actually retaliation for Chille filming. Like, so the judge is gonna make all of this make sense at this point, right?
Based on its First Amendment protected conduct and Mr. Orm.
Based on its First Amendment protected conduct.
Based on its First Amendment protected conduct, and Mr. Orm, you can prepare the order.
And Mr. Orm, you can prepare the order. It is First Amendment protected conduct. It is First Amendment protected conduct. What the fuck is it? Is it being 10 feet away? Is it refusing to back up more than a foot? Is it filming? Is it talking to the driver? What is it? There's a song about that. What is it? It's it. What is it? So it's First Amendment protected conduct. Great. And then the resisting arrest goes away because it was an illegal arrest, I guess. I don't know. I don't fucking know. Do you know? I don't know. I see what State the Obvious says, but State the Obvious is a fucking tool bag. So I doubt it's all of the above. But she's not gonna get fucked up on appeal over this. It doesn't make a lot of sense. It just doesn't make a lot of sense. I don't understand what the state failed to prove, or what was the protected activity, or did Chille not have to back up any further, or like, I don't understand. It was not a satisfying outcome. And again, like, I'm not personally invested in this. I said there's about a 1 in 3 chance. I just played it for you guys. There's about a 1 in 3 chance as of 3 weeks ago. So, and I literally said, like, if, you know, it would surprise me if he's found not guilty. There are ways that a court could legitimately come to the conclusion that the arrest was unlawful, or lack probable cause, or is protected by the First Amendment. There are legitimate ways the court could do that. But I don't understand. I don't understand. So, you know, maybe that's my big failing. I calls them like I sees them, and that's the way I see it. Now, Michael RS asked, so now that Chille's case has been overturned, is, I guess, his fanboys are saying that an attorney will jump all over it to sue the judge and the cop and so on and so forth. Can you do a video with your thoughts on that? So the judge, the judicial court judge or justice court judge, she's protected by judicial immunity. There is zero fucking way in hell that Chille is going to be able to sue that judge for any damages. I mean, no. So would a judge jump all over that? No. To sue the cop? No. Because again, so the Wilson case came out. The Wilson case came out after it was published, after the arrest. So was the cop on notice that particular? So no, qualified immunity will almost certainly play in. Would a cop or would an attorney take it? Probably. I mean, there's a possibility you'll get a settlement out of it as long as you could survive qualified immunity on the suit against the cop. You could probably find an attorney to take that. It's not a good case. It's not a good case, but there's possibility. What does malding mean? I don't understand what malding means. I don't need anybody to be on my side, Johnny Bravo. Like I gave him a 1 in 3 shot of success. I mean, there are never any guarantees on anything. The judge's decision made no sense. I was hoping, like, I didn't care which way the judge ruled. What I was hoping for was a decision that made sense, that people could walk out of there knowing how Chille's arrest was unlawful. You want me to play it again, Fila? You want to play it again? Share this tab instead. If that 10% hits, I won't be surprised. Maybe it's a little higher, actually. Maybe it's higher. Now that I'm thinking about it, I wouldn't be surprised if it was up around a 1 in 3 shot of a 1 in 3 shot. A 1 in 3 shot, Fila. Who's a fucking idiot now, Fila? But even a 1 in 10 shot, I mean, again, I wouldn't be like a 1 in 10 shot means that he's got a 10 like that. Like I don't understand, dude. Like I'm saying he had a chance. I'm saying he had a chance the whole time. The whole time I was saying he had a chance. Like right after he was convicted, I made a video about a potential appeal he could do. Like literally right after he was convicted, I was like, oh, he could probably appeal this motherfucker. And then as I thought about it more, I thought about more grounds for appeal and more grounds for appeal because I'm not paid to like study his case, and I'm not licensed to how do I have my ego bruised? Like I don't understand why you think this would bruise my ego. The only issue I have is that the judge's decision was incredibly vague. I didn't care, and I still don't care which way the judge orders it. I care about like being able to understand it, have the decision make sense. If she get like, I know none of you fucking drooling idiots listen to all the videos where I went over potential grounds for appeal and how Chille could prevail on appeal. I know you didn't go over that stuff, but I did do it. And so like I literally have laid out grounds in the past for how he could successfully appeal. So how would I be shocked if he won? Additionally, I also said that there's always a chance a court could make a mistake. The court could even make a mistake into the right decision. The court could get like the entire analysis wrong and still come to the right decision. People do it all the time on YouTube. People like Eli. Eli he had zero fucking analysis. He just threw it out there and he got it right. So great, right? Well, no, we already had case law on the right to film police in the Ninth Circuit. We have plenty of it. DeCastro versus Nevada, it's not. It's Nevada versus DeCastro. It doesn't. There's no opinion, and we don't know that's what you guys. That's what I'm trying to explain to you. We don't know what it means. We don't know what it means. She didn't give us any real analysis. But what does it mean? What does it mean for Chille's ongoing case? Well, again, barring court error, the court has already dismissed everything except for the excessive force. Everything except for the excessive force claims and the state claims that are also based on excessive force. Oh, beautiful, dude. That's exactly it. She had and that's what I want to see. I just want to know how she got there. And I actually want a more specific answer. Like she gave, like, instead of like 1 + 1, the answer she gave us is it's greater than 1, which is technically a correct answer. We don't know how she got the answer, but we also don't know if 1 + 1 is 2 or 3 or 4. We don't know. That's the problem. But back to his lawsuit against Bork. The underlying causes of action for everything except for the excessive force and the state claims that were based on like excessive force were dismissed with prejudice. With prejudice means that at that time, Chille would have to have appealed that decision, or else that decision became final. So that decision became final. Those causes of action have been dismissed with prejudice. So the only causes of action that Chille has left, unless the court makes a huge mistake and ignores the fact that the court had previously dismissed those causes of action with prejudice, is the excessive force. So and Chille still doesn't have. I mean, with Michael Mee, I don't have a good read on Michael Mee, but if Michael Mee can develop that particular cause of action beyond Chille's bare bones allegation, like because Chille doesn't know how to plead it, he didn't plead it right, but I'm sure that Michael Mee will be able to plead it correctly. So my best guess is that Michael Mee will amend the pleading after the court goes through, and on this motion to dismiss, there is a, and there's no guarantees on this, but there is about a 50-50 shot either way that the excessive force claims get dismissed. The court might look at the video evidence and say this there's clearly no excessive force here. The court might do that, and then the court might look at it and say, well, we can't tell how much pressure you're applying or whatever. So it's about a 50-50 shot on that. If it does survive, I would expect Michael Mee to amend his pleading. I would expect Michael Mee to get Chille into a doctor or a chiropractor to start building up damages, and then try to get a settlement at that point. If he survives the motion to dismiss on the excessive force claims, then that's when a settlement should happen. And yeah, Orm did a great job. His oral argument, again, his arguments weren't great, but he presented the arguments very well, very engaging, very his mannerisms and movement. He had the attention of the judge. She was appreciating what he had to say. He was telling a story. He had his argument down. The other attorney, he was just not good. He was just not good. The other attorney, Chen, I thought Chen would be better. Believe it or not, I thought Chen would be much better based on his very professionally written. I saw my issues with it, but his professionally written opposition. The prosecutor was drowning. I think the prosecutor thought he was going into a friendly judge, and he wasn't super prepared. And when she started cross-checking him, asking him questions, saying, but what about things like that? It was all bad news. It was all bad news. And maybe he was crumbling a bit under the pressure. I don't know. Chille was right. It hurts. I know. What wine pairs with crow? No. Chille. I still think Chille got lucky. I don't have any reason to believe that Chille got anything other than lucky. And I don't begrudge him his win. You know, I think it sucks that he did 4 months. Well, he may not. I didn't see him spill his coffee, but I was mostly just listening to it. I feel to say something funny. That's Frankenstein. I don't know who that is. Oh, now see Nate's in love. Is he going to replace that? God, what's that guy? I don't remember. Who's that guy you have tattooed all over you? State probably didn't care either way since he had only 14 days left in his sentence and the civil case was circling the drain. I don't think so. I think the state did have a. I think the state did have an interest in winning. Parker Osmond, that's right. I just don't think Chen was up to the task. And Chen wasn't up to the task when Chen didn't address Wilson appropriately in his opposition. Remember, Chen only addressed Wilson in his opposition as far as the vague and overbreadth is concerned, but he never actually set out and showed how the fact pattern in Wilson was different than the fact pattern in Chille's case to try to show. And again, I don't know if the court even made the decision based on Wilson. I thought the court would have made the decision based on Wilson if the court was going to rule in Chille's favor. But who fucking knows, right? But if the court was going to make a decision based on Wilson, based on the cop not caring until Chille started talking to the driver, then the state should have been prepared to distinguish Wilson and the facts in Wilson from the facts in Chille's case. And the state just did not do that. And I criticized them for it then, and I criticize them even more for it now. Wild politics going. I don't think that it's actually that important. I don't think there's any politics behind Chille. But beyond this small corner of YouTube, Chille's not a thing. Well, I mean, he did something, Navy girl. He probably wrote the briefs. I still think that he wrote the briefs, not Orm. Should would love to. Chen appeared to me that he thought it was a slam dunk. Yeah, I think he went in way overconfident, and I think it rattled him pretty hard when the judge started asking him pointed questions about it. I think that rattled him pretty hard. Fuck it, let him get his compensation. I didn't have to like a person to know what was done to them was wrong. 4 months and slammed to the ground. Yeah, fuck it, let him settle and keep. Fuck it, let him settle and keep it pushing. Well, I have always said that 6 months was excessive. For what Chille did, 6 months was excessive. 4 months was excessive, and that's, I guess, what he served. A Young Frankenstein. It's a Mel Brooks movie. Okay. This case was the one where they squoze his ulnar nerve, I believe, and they punched him in the balls. Squoze ulnar nerve and punched in the balls. Well, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. You can go all the way back to Mexican Padilla. All the way back to Mexican Padilla. I remember he apparently watched my video on him where I said, being an asshole is not a crime. You shouldn't get arrested for being an asshole. And I remember he parroted me. And that's still my position. Now, the real question is, So I know the judge was saying things like, 21 feet might have been reasonable if the cop had said move back 21 feet, or if the cop had ordered Chille to move back to a certain specific point, because it was a parking lot and everything was laid out. And the judge was saying that the cop could have told Chille to stand behind a certain line. Well, what if he did that? Here's my question. What if he did that? And then would it have still been First Amendment protected activity? And that's again my problem with the way the judge did the ruling, because we just don't know.
Based on its First Amendment protected appeal and reverse the convictions, based on its First Amendment protected conduct, and Mr. Orm, you can prepare the.
It's First Amendment. So if what was his name? Bork. If Bork had said, stand behind that white line right there. If Bork had said that and Chille had refused to do it, then could Chille have been arrested? I just don't understand. I just don't understand. I actually haven't seen the video on that one. It'll be interesting. Were you surprised at the outcome? I sure was. No, I stated in several videos that I would not be surprised if he was found not guilty or if this judge reversed the sentence. In fact, I gave him a 1 in 3 chance of having the conviction overturned. That was this video. I'm thinking about it. I wouldn't be surprised if it was up around a 1 in 3 shot. So no, I was not surprised. Apparently I'm being painted as someone who was just completely in the bag, that Chille had no chance at all, and that's fine. When it comes to being a dick to cops, this win in court behind him shows going to be the John Holmes of auditors going forward. Well, what one potentially negative outcome for Chille from this particular decision by the judge is that because the judge was vague, Chille might be under the impression that he could do whatever the fuck he wants as long as he's holding a camera. And it might lull him into a false sense of security where he's going out there quoting Nevada versus Castro as the law of the land, which means that he gets to get up in a cop's face and scream and this and that. And I mean, it might come back to backfire on him and get him more charges. And I have never served time in jail. I certainly have never spent 4 months in jail. I have, however, had to visit clients in jail. And visiting clients in jail, I hate it with a passion, because jails have a fucking heavy spirit to them. They weigh on me. They grind me down. Maybe it's the wannabe country boy in me where I need wide open spaces and no fences. Don't fence me in. But jails fucking suck, and I never ever wish anyone to go to jail. And I certainly hope that Chille has maybe learned restraint from this, and that he doesn't misinterpret this to think that he now has a license basically to commit crime as long as he's holding a camera. Well, yeah, I mean, he did that originally, though. I mean, remember, Michael Mee was his attorney in the initial case. Michael Mee definitely could have done a better job. Michael Mee could have definitely done a better job, but he got an attorney. Well, I mean, that's the way you're interpreting it, Salty Explorer. But she doesn't identify what it is. She noted that the judge noted that the cop said that you can go ahead and keep filming. So I would actually be of the impression that it wasn't. The judge also said that that Chille has a right to be an asshole. Well, not a right, but Chille's allowed to be an asshole. He could be annoying, and it's not a crime to be annoying. And so I would be more inclined to believe that the judge thought that the officer arrested him because Chille was annoying and Chille irritated the cop. But we don't know. Your opinion could be right. My opinion could be right. It could be both. Who the fuck knows? That's my issue. That is my issue. My issue isn't that he was found or that the appeal was granted. I'm not going to lose sleep over that. My issue is that the way it was granted was so fucking vague that nobody fucking knows. You can film subject to reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. Now, one reasonable time, place, or manner restriction might be if you are a threat. But that would have to, first of all, have to be reasonable. But there might be other reasonable time, place, and manner restrictions. Like if they have the bomb squad out, they might say, no, you have to be back at least a mile because you might have a detonator on you. We're keeping everybody with the cell phone back from the crime scene or back from the bomb scene because we don't want people to be setting off bombs with a cell phone, right? So it's not that they necessarily see him as a threat. It's that they're keeping everybody with cell phones back. I guess technically that'd be a threat. Or they might say, no, you have to stay back because we're trying to keep contaminants out of a crime scene. They're not saying that you're going to attack anybody, but they need to keep you out of a crime scene to preserve evidence. How drunk are you, Johnny Bravo? No, the conviction was vacated. It was done. He's a free man. He is a free man. It's all over for the state. The state lost. The state's done. Yeah, fuck jail. Yeah. It's like I actually had a client come in today. Not my client, a client for another attorney that I was doing work on. He had been in jail for prison for 30 years. He was convicted back in 89, I think. He was convicted back in 89 of accomplice murder as an accomplice, getaway driver. And there was some statutory changes to the murder statute, and then there was another statute that allowed him to basically get a new trial under the new murder statutes. And if he couldn't be convicted under the new murder statute, then he gets to get a new sentence, right? Well, the only thing that he was convicted of was the accomplice murder. So when they retried him, they couldn't prove under the new laws that he would be convicted. So now he's out after having served 30 years. And the whole reason why he came into this other attorney's office and the other attorney brought me in was because he was looking for a way to sue the state for all that time. Now, there is a way. He could have gotten $150 a day for every day he served in prison and another $70 a day for every day he's out on probation or parole. Except there'd have to be a finding of innocence. Not a finding of not guilty, but a finding of innocence. Anyway, so what I did is I went through the guy's file, all of his old appeals and petitions for habeas. He also had all of his jail records in there. And I mean, some of the shit that this guy went through, like him and another inmate, 2 inmates were attacked by 20 other inmates. He was a Norteño and he was attacked by 20 Sureños. And he was all stabbed up, but he survived. He had gotten shot with buckshot. He had buckshot in his body from when he was shot during a prison riot by a prison guard. I mean, oof. Interesting stories, but man, I guess that's technically prison, not jail. But either way, not fun. No fun. No point. I was impressed Chille was able to control himself. Yeah, I mean, that was good, right? Well, there was the officer said he could have been a threat. Now, I took great exception to that, and I was told that I was being an asshole. But there was no reasonable threat. It wasn't reasonable for him to view Chille as a threat, I think, is what the this judge was saying. I'll bet the latter. I don't know. If Chille runs, his fans will cheer because of the last 4 months. Why would Chille run at this point? Right? Why would Chille run? Chille is going to cite the state of Nevada versus DeCastro as I win. I think Chille's going to question the cop, but the judge denied his motion. I think that threw them off. Oh, Chille's motion to have his attorney be his elbow counsel. I don't know, maybe. Judging by the fact that Chille didn't even part his lips in court, his lawyer told him not to make a peep, so he did learn something. Yeah, well, hopefully. It always makes things easier if your client doesn't shit the bed. Ah, okay. Oh, nice. Well, the plaid blue one, that's a Wrangler shirt. You could buy it at your local Western outfit stores. They dropped battery on Chille, or this would be a different game. I don't think they would have actually got him for battery. He pulled away, but I don't think he battered him. I don't think he would have been found guilty of battery. And that's I think why they dropped it. The judge asked a very straightforward question to Chen about Chille's interaction with the driver after being told not to talk to her. Yep. Sorry if you already answered. Jumped since it was reversed. Could they try the case even though I'm sure they wouldn't? No, they can't. It's done. It's done. No retry. No retry. It's done. Conviction overturned. Because Chille abandoned the conversation with the driver. The appeal judge felt it was not obstruction. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're assuming that. We're assuming that. Since she's not going to write the decision, she's going to let Orem write it. We're going to see what Orem puts in. But we're just guessing. I'm sure DeCastro will be a pleasure to deal with from now on. Humble, pleasant, respectful, and all please. Hopefully. I mean, if he could actually make the police the star of his show rather than make himself the star of his show. Again with the ifs. If earthworms carried hand grenades, scarecrows would be out of a job. That's true. Yeah. Bill, said he learned when to shut his mouth when it matters. Court is not where you argue and throw subjective opinions. Okay. Double jeopardy is not allowed. That is correct. You argue with facts and decorum. Okay. Chille is free. He is free. The if was a spliff, we'd all be high as hell right now. Marijuana isn't my drug of choice. I tried it once when I was in my 40s and an edible, and I didn't feel anything. So we had an officer there for being a chomo, and he liked to color pictures. Total creep. I guess this is a Briggs story. Would you humor me and play the next few seconds of the video we see on screen right now? Okay. Of Chille prevailing on that issue. Just on that issue. So, because the more I think about it, the state's reluctance to really address Wilson and analyze Chille's case with the facts in Wilson, and the state's reliance on decisions that are really distinguishable that were decided before Wilson. It's a bit of a problem for me. So let's see about. I'm gonna amend it. So I'm gonna say about a 1 in 3 shot of Chille actually prevailing on the prevailing, but it won't be because of the brief. I want to be very clear about that too. I hope I've played enough. I don't know if you guys want to watch the entire video. I guess you can watch the entire video. It was on June 14th, 2024. It shows odds of prevailing on appeal. 1 and 3. Said it twice. Bravo, Johnny. Could have, would have, should have, but wasn't. Either way, this is going to totally inflate his ego. I thought he was bad before. Lol, he may even get his first lawsuit out of this one. No, I don't think so, because all of the issues that this would impact have already been dismissed with prejudice. Unless the district court, for whatever reason, ignores the fact that they've already dismissed those things with prejudice. The federal district court is an entirely different animal than that state district court was. So I have faith in the federal district court. Hi, Sarah. Seems the appellant judge chickadee checked that other judge herself as not to wreck herself. Lol, sound familiar? Seems that the appellant judge, the district judge, checked the other judge herself as not to wreck herself. I don't know what the fuck that means, dude. The circumstances were not the same in the second arrest. Okay. The state's attorney was a nervous wreck the entire time. He spilled his herbal tea all over the test and then slightly cleaned it up like nothing happened. Yeah, he was a wreck. I agree. The cessation of riggedy regulated operations has ceased. I don't know what the fuck. Whatever you're on, bro. What's your favorite alcoholic drink? Probably bourbon. I am drinking a light beer tonight because it's hot. Well, I don't know if conventional drugs don't affect me. Alcohol affects me. Aspirin and ibuprofen affect me. I haven't done the cocaine or anything like that. Sorry. The sparrows had banjos in their butts, there'd be music in the air. Well, that is a lovely saying. Wilson. Just on that issue. What issue? The issue of the obstruction. You're welcome. She was quoting you on the video you did last Thanksgiving. Lol, we were rolling on the floor on that one. I don't remember what I did last Thanksgiving. I thought the dismissed parts of the lawsuit were not dismissed with prejudice. Meaning Chille could try again, can't he? No. So everything was dismissed. The only parts that were dismissed without prejudice were the parts that dealt with the excessive force and like the state battery kinds of issues. The parts that were dismissed with prejudice were all the other parts, essentially, where if the court or if the cops had probable cause, then there was no issue. So the wrongful arrest, the First Amendment retaliation, all that stuff, those are all gone, if I remember correctly. And we'll see. Anyway, it seems like that's about the end of it. Thanks for watching and have a great evening.